level. So before we get started,
All right.
just say your name.
Nickolas Wildstar.
Okay. Will you spell that for me?
Nickolaswildstar.
Okay. And is that about the level you'll be speaking at, or do you find yourself, do you become very animated and then?
Sometimes, but
Sometimes,
more
okay.
than likely, this is about the level I'll be at.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so Kathleen will be asking you a few questions,
All right,
and I will just
wonderful.
have the mic on you.
Okay, I do have a little bit of newts, just in case you ask me.
It's good to be
I
prepared.
do my best to. So you don't mind being on camera, do you?
I don't mind. No, not at all.
All right.
And actually, do you want me to come over here?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, here we are.
All right. Well, thank you for coming into the studio today. We really appreciate
Pleasure
it.
indeed.
So, first of all, share with us your vision for the city.
Absolutely. Well, my wife and I, we actually moved here from Orange County back in June. And coming to Fresno, we think it's a beautiful city. That's actually one of the things that attracted us most to coming here when we were looking for places to move away from Orange County. And when I ran for governor last year, we had a few stops here in the city. And like I said, that was one of the things that attracted us was the forestry. There's many more trees out here versus Orange County where they seems to be cutting them down. But that's one of the things that I would like to see here in Fresno is a bit more parks. It seems to be a bit scarce, as well as, of course, more community gardens with the big agricultural industry being here. It's a shame that there aren't any more community gardens or sidewalk gardens available, in the inner cities even. So I definitely would like to see that be implemented. Of course, more sidewalks. There was a recent incident where a man was riding down the street in a wheelchair, was actually struck by a car and killed. So I definitely think there needs to be more sidewalks as well, more bikeways, and of course, if we have that be available in the community, hopefully we'll reduce the amount of incidents such as that, and of course give the people of the community an opportunity to see like the agricultural community, more gardens like that. So I really feel like that needs to be a focus, and there's a way to do that without spending a lot of money. I know Measure P was shot down here recently, and I believe free enterprise would be an opportunity for a way for that to actually be developed. For instance, if Starbucks or Barnes & Noble wanted to sponsor building a park, now we have a park that's built in the community and we don't have to pay a dime for it. So that would be wonderful. But I have lots of plans. One of the things that I'm calling is my Fresno First initiative. That's part of it, the beautification of the city. But I also would like to see a high-speed rail system. The people of Fresno want it, of course, but because of state officials, red tape, they've been prevented from having that be developed. So I would like to cut that red tape to be able to allow some of those companies to come in and be able to build that, state-of-the-art public transportation system. So whether it be a high-speed rail, a maglev system, a hyperloop even, we can open the doorway for that to be built. In Los Angeles, in the Torrance, they're actually building tunnels underneath the city to allow you to be able to drive on that, and you'll be in this tube flying under the freeway, and it allow you to bypass traffic. So it's ways to reduce traffic here locally as well. And I also think a public utility would be advantageous for the people here, especially seeing as there's been issues with PG&E and the rolling blackouts. So to give the people here in Fresno an opportunity to have their own power and electric and water utility company, to where again it's paid for by taxpayers, therefore once it's bought and paid for, we'll have free electricity, and we can supplement by selling off any extra power or water to any neighboring cities or states that may be in need of that. So it's a commodity now we'll have here in the city, and the people of Fresno will be able to benefit from that. So again, because it's paid for by taxpayers, any profits will be going back to we the people. And another way that we could pay that forward to others in need, especially in the inner cities, is a public bank, which is one thing that I'm offering as well, is the development of a People's Bank of Fresno, which will be funded by the people of Fresno. But it also will be a type of bank that will be open to other type of commodities or other currencies, such as cryptocurrency or even precious metals, gold and silver. So you'll be able to go in the bank and be able to conduct financial transactions using these type of currencies. And again, since it is a people's bank now, it's less regulated. So those businesses here in Fresno that are of the cannabis industry, now they can safely deposit that money into the bank. And since it is a cash on hand business, that'll definitely reduce the amount of violence that we see related in that cannabis industry, because a lot of that black market activity is because simply of the amount of regulations that's applied to the industry. So if you allow them to conduct their business legally, lawfully, now you're taking all of that activity that happens under the table and putting it on top where it belongs. And now these companies that have respectful businesses are able to do respectful banking. And we, the people of the community, will be able to benefit from that, because now, since that money has been developed into the bank, that bank can now turn around to people of the community, black and brown people, and that get turned away from major banks and be able to provide them with interest-free loans. So that's something that I think, again, everyone in the city could benefit from and would definitely alleviate a lot of the issues related to poverty and crime.
So what do you think is the most pressing issue facing the city at this moment?
I definitely think it's the homeless issue. That seems to be sprouting statewide. And I think we can get control of it here in Fresno and sort of lead the way on how to do so.
So there's some different ideas out there about how to address homelessness. What would be your approach?
One thing I am offering to do is build 3D printed homes. This technology does exist. There are homes that can be built in less than 24 hours. They're 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, full homes. So they will be self-sustainable. They run off of either hydroelectricity or solar power. So it is a self-sustainable home, and they can be built in less than 24 hours and for less than $5,000. So the governor just recently allocated $11 million and granted that to the city. So that money could go far and wide with building these homes. So what I would like to do is provide those homes to those people that are, oh sure, I apologize. Those people that are in need of those homes. And it is a transitory program, so it isn't something that they're going to be in forever. It's just an opportunity for them to get that leg up that they need in life and give them an opportunity to better themselves. So the 3D printed homes is definitely an opportunity, as well as reducing the amount of cost for home builders. I speak with a lot of developers, and they tell me, because of the cost to actually build a residential property, whether it be a single family home, an apartment building, it can range between tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just for them to build. So if it costs a developer $30,000 just to build a home, then of course it's not going to be affordable for them, and they're then going to pass on that cost to the renter or leasee. So we want to reduce the amount of cost for the builders as well. And also I feel like mental health needs to be dealt with. A lot of the people that are homeless, unfortunately, have mental health issues. So I believe a mental health task force would be best delegated to deal with them instead of sending out the police. So that's a better approach. So it's multifaceted because, like you said, there's different ways of helping those, because every person is different that is dealing with homelessness. So I believe, of course, sending out more social workers to actually do better evaluations of those conditions would be best, and giving opportunities to nonprofit organizations, churches, individuals, that tie, that tie their hands, because here in Fresno, we do have, anti-panhandling laws. And for somebody such as myself that doesn't mind, giving out $1 or $2, or whatever spare money that I have to those that may ask, that's definitely disabling. So we want to allow people to help each other. And like I said, with regards to the mental health issue, I think criminal justice reform should be part of it as well, especially with our law enforcement personnel having to respond to, those that may be out there homeless, dealing with a mental health issue. Just recently, we had an incident where there was a teenager who was autistic and having a seizure, and the police went out to respond to this and handcuffed the young man. And it was a very traumatic episode for not only him, but his mother and his entire family. And now us for the city, because when they sue for damages, which most likely they will, we're going to have to pay for it with our tax dollars. So there's a few things that I think should be done. First and foremost, of course, with the homelessness and tying into that criminal justice reform.
So you're running against two candidates that have raised considerable amounts of money and have a lot of name recognition.
Yes, they do.
What has the experience been for you given the situation that you're in?
It's been a bit difficult because they do have a lot of money and I don't. I'm a grassroots candidate, and I'm also a third-party candidate, even though it shouldn't matter because it's a nonpartisan race. With Dyer being a Republican and Jans being a Democrat, they have a lot of money being funded into both of their campaigns. Both parties are able to do successful fundraising for them, and then they are able to get volunteers and do what's necessary in order to campaign successfully. I, however, on the other hand, because I don't have a lot of those resources available, have to turn to we the people of the community, and ask for their help. So a lot of my donations, like for signage, has been from a donor that purchased lawn signs and street signs for me to post. I wouldn't be able to afford it for myself if it wasn't for her. So generous in-kind donations such as that, people volunteering to help me actually go out there and post those signs, since I don't have the money to pay companies to install them for me. So another part of it is the media. Thankfully, people such as yourself and, public broadcasting has been generous towards me, but and it's up to me as well as an independent journalist to sort of do my own publicity to make sure that people are able to hear from me, because I get asked that a lot. Well, why don't I hear from you? I don't know who you are. I'm like, well, who are you expecting to tell you about me? If it's the mainstream media, it isn't going to happen. And with me, again, being a third-party candidate, they don't seem to be very favorable towards us, and I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a freedom-loving, patriot that believes in liberty and justice for all. And with me being a registered libertarian, it's definitely difficult for me as well. And even though I've been endorsed by the party, haven't been given much support by the media, the mainstream media, because of it. So, but money, as much as they make it seem like it's a powerful tool in campaigning, it's not. I've come to learn that you don't need the money. You more so need the votes. And I was collecting signatures to get on the ballot and had to speak with nearly 1,000 people. And the majority of them were not favorable of either of the main two candidates. Mainly Dyer, more so. But also on the flip side of that is Jans, because they both represent law enforcement, which a lot of people see as being a main problem here in the city. So one way that we can, of course, get that under control is by getting someone that's not affiliated with law enforcement at all, or any city official at all. And that, of course, would be me. And that's how I'm presenting myself.
Awesome.
It's a breath of fresh air.
Do you have any questions?
No, I loved what he just said. I think that's great. We'll use that.
All right.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure indeed. Thank you so much, and thank you. We appreciate you. Long live liberty, y'all. Tune into the interview because it's going to be live.